Okay, ladies and gents, went on another little shopping trip just in between. So last night I finished off one of the cabinets, or whatever you call them, things. Today I'm gonna finish off another one. Got a few lamps to do it because it's a bedside table. I also grabbed some stain at Home Depot and a few other things that I was running short on. So once we get home, we'll start on all of that. Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 2 of our build. The first build, I guess this could all be done in a day if you have the time and the materials all worked out, but for me, it's taken a little bit longer than that, just because, you know, trying to keep it a secret, everything. I don't have all the time. So I finished this guy. This is one of the tables. It's more or less, it's assembled. The only thing that's not assembled is that top piece, which will go on later, and I'll show you how I go about doing that. This one right here is drying, so we've got these cross pieces right here are still drying. So while we're waiting for those to dry, before we get all this stuff on, I wanted to show you a couple things. Went to Home Depot and I picked up some stain, some wood stain. So, said earlier when we were doing the wood glue that a lot of people like to use gloves when they do the wood glue, and I don't. The stain is something you're going to want to use gloves for, because otherwise your hands are going to be covered, absolutely covered in stain, and have nicely stained hands. I'm just going to pop this guy open. I have my nitrile gloves right here, disposable gloves. So before, ooh, that's pretty. So I picked a darker color. I'm not quite sure about it. Usually before you stain, unless you've done it before on the type of wood you're using, you want to do a little bit of a test. So that's what I'm doing right now. Stain's pretty easy to do. You don't need a brush. Some people use brushes. Just use paper towel. Really easy. So right here I have, this is just a scrap piece that was laying over by the side, something that was left over. So I'm just going to stain this. You can do this indoors because there's no chemicals that get into the air or anything. So this is actually quite easy. Just wipe it on. And I've got a little thing here to make sure it doesn't drip. This might another scrap piece of wood. Well, it looks like I got a little on my finger there. No big deal. Just my finger just be a little brown for a little while. Okay. We're going to leave this on here for 2 to 3 minutes just to let this stain soak into the wood. And then we're going to wipe it off and see how it looks, and if we like it or not. I hope I do, because I got that. I don't really want to go back to the store. So 2 minutes later. It's been about 2 minutes. 2 minutes isn't the rule for all stain. You're going to want to read the instructions on the stain before you use it. This particular stain is a quick stain, so that's why it's only 2 minutes. Some of them you take 10, 15 minutes to wait. This one's pretty quick. So after 2 minutes, I'm just going to wipe off the excess stain, and we're going to see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that is a very nice looking piece of wood. That stain really brought out the grain in this wood. Now, I think in the next one, I'm going to want to make sure I sand them down a bit, but before I do that, just to make sure I knock back the excess stuff. Obviously, the scrap one doesn't really matter. You can see if I can bring it up to the camera there. One thing I especially like about this is the way that it brought out all these little knots in the wood right here. It's really, really gorgeous. So you get a really nice look with that wood. I'm very pleased with that, and it's continuing to dry, so we'll still see a little bit more. I guess there's a little bit more of a change in it as it dries, But for the most part, that's what it's going to look like. So after it's all said and done, dry and everything, I'm going to do that. But there's something that I have to do before I even do that, and it's not completing the gluing, the assembly. I'll show you the completion of the assembly later. I mean, obviously, I gotta make it. I gotta finish it, right? But something cool that I really, really like. Right here, this is the top of one of our bedside tables. And you might be looking at this, and you might say, oh, that's pretty okay, but Adub, and there's all this ugly writing on the side. It looks really gross. You got all this gross stuff on here, all along the edges. That's not going to look good as a bedside table. Exactly. Probably wondering why I have this standard household iron next to me. No, I'm not going to show you how to iron clothes today. I'm going to talk about this. This is pretty cheap. You pick it up at Home Depot, and all you got to do is line it right up on your edge like this, and it's got a built-in adhesive, okay? Take the iron. It's kind of like tape. Just iron it on there, put it in place. Okay, and then the next part happens. You need a blade. So for this, I just use a pair of scissors. Just use a pair of scissors and a box cutter knife. Stick the scissors on there, snap that right off. Okay. Then I'm going to take my box cutter and just carefully trim it. Okay. Trim this edge. Then I'm going to trim right along this corner. You got to be, see if I can show you. Trim right along this corner, and you got to be careful. Don't go fast. Okay, so with a box cutter, going fast does two things. Okay? You go fast, you're running the risk of hurting yourself, and you're also running the risk of making a mistake and nicking off a little piece of wood that you're not supposed to. And the key to cutting this off is patience. It's not a race. You're just trying to clean it up. All right, I got it all trimmed. Once that's all trimmed, I like to go back over with the hot glue, the iron, to heat up the glue again, just to make sure it's all on nice. And I kind of hit those edges to squeeze that glue into all the cracks around the edges. Okay, so what that iron's doing is it's heating up that glue. Then once I'm done with that, hit it with some sandpaper. So when you're sanding this, you don't want it to be really rough and tumble. I'm using 320 grit sandpaper. That's a really fine grit. I'm not trying to knock anything off big time. I'm just trying to make it smooth. Remember, you're dealing with a really, really fine area, so you don't want to knock it down to that ugly wood underneath. Just matching the fake wood on top. It's not fake, it's real wood. It's just super, super thin. So what we are left with there is a real nice edge. Take a look at that. See that edge there? Looks like it's real wood, okay? This is what it looked like before. Kind of an ugly edge, right? Yeah, That's it before, and that's the after. So gorgeous. So you just gonna do that to every single one of these edges on all of these. And it looks like you did it with solid wood, not the cheap stuff. It's a real nice look. The next thing we need to do is get this mounted on here. That's where this comes in. This is just a wooden dowel, and what I'm going to do is cut this into little pins. Anyways, I'm going to cut this thing into little pins that'll insert in there, and then I'll be able to insert into this top piece as well in order to hold it into place. I have all of the ones on this one in, and they're probably tight enough in there, yeah, that I don't even need them. Probably don't even need to glue it if I don't want to, but I'm going to glue it just to be safe. So, yeah, that'll be, once I glue that down on this one, glue that down on that one, that's essentially done with the assembly. Beyond that, it's just inserting the pegs to hold up our bottom shelf piece, and it's all finished work after that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here they are, completed. Also, I have the two shelves here, which again, once I'm done with everything, those will get installed. The first step after constructing these guys, we got to stain them. So that's what I'm going to do next. I don't know how easily you'll be able to see this. It's a little messy in here. Don't have much room in this garage. Kind of just have the back end of the garage. I have one of those done, and then the other one needs to be done. I used the other one as a stand when I made this one. So I'm going to have to, basically, I'll have to use this one as a stand when I make that one. So this one here needs to dry first. So I'm going to let that one dry. Should take about 30 minutes, and then do that one over there. And then it's time to basically finish it. Time to seal it. So I don't know if I'm going to get to the sealing tonight. It's getting a little late. I don't know. I think that's a tomorrow thing, because I will have to do it in the open air because it's stinky. So, yeah. I think that's it for today. All right, ladies and gents, it's raining a bit outside, so I can't go outside with these things in order to shellac them, but I'm going to be shellacking them right here. I have just enough room in the garage, and so I've got it all essentially cleaned up. The stain is all dry. It looks really good right now. I know you can't really see it on the camera. I'm going to be using shellac. I really like shellac as a sealer. It dries relatively quickly. It's easy to put on, and it looks really nice. So I am going to be putting that on these. Obviously, we need ventilation because of the smell on those things, but it should go pretty quickly, and then I'll be done with everything. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am now drilling the pins for the shelves on this. So you can see it's all smooth. Looks really nice. I have that shellac on there, making it look nice and shiny. So now inside here, let's see if the camera can get that. I'm not sure. It's pretty dark in here. Okay, so what I've done down here is I've taped this off just with masking tape, and then I marked it. And then what I'm going to do is draw a line in pencil with my ruler here, so I can drill out the holes for the pins. So let me draw the line, and then I can show you how I do these pins here. And I have little marks on there that I put. Each one is about 3 inches in. That gives it a good amount of space for our shelf to rest on those pins. So I'm just going to take my drill here. I've set up my bit, and I don't know, it's not going to focus on that. But I've set up my bit so it has, I have some tape on there. And what that does, see if I can show you here. Okay, so see, that tape shows me basically how far I can go into the wood. If I go any further than the tape, it's going to punch through the other side. So that tape gives me a safety. I don't want to go straight to the tape. I just make sure that that's the farthest that I can possibly drill in when I'm drilling. So let me see if I can show you the drilling process. Okay, the light is on here is a little bright, but notice how that went in pretty nice. Let me see if I can pull this light off. There we go. You can see pretty well it went in there. Now let me just knock out this other one real quick. Okay, so I've got both of them knocked out. As you saw when we did that first one, it didn't go all the way through. I just went straight up right into that tape that went on. So now I can pull this off, and the good thing about tape, I don't know, let me see if I can get this. So the good thing about tape is it gives you a nice clean hole. It keeps the wood from around the area from punching out. Yeah, see if I can get that light level balanced out there. If I put my hand in front of it, it seems to balance. Okay. See if you can see that. So yeah, I've got it with very minimal cracking around that hole, which is exactly what I want. So the next step is taking our dowel. Okay, remember we used this dowel for up above to connect the top. Just going to stick that dowel in there, and I'm going to cut that just like I did the other stuff. And that's just going to rest in there, and the shelf will rest on top of it. And the shelf will rest all the way back to the corner here, so you don't have to worry about this breaking off or anything. It looks really loose right now and really precarious, but once it's laying right there, there's really no possible way for that dowel to break off. So I'm going to finish this up, and then these are complete. Okay, there it is installed in the bedroom. A little dusty in here because I just brought it in from the garage. I think the dust is floating off my hands. So before I got this in here, I gave it a quick sand on the top, which gives it a real matte finish. So I really like the gloss, and that's where this product comes in. This is not even an advertisement paid or anything like that. This right here is one of the most useful products I've ever purchased, as far as like building and home stuff goes. It's pledged floor care. Don't be fooled by floor care. Anything that you want to look shiny, this is basically floor wax. You can put it on anything to make it look shiny. It's really easy to install. Or to apply. You just put it on there, and you can do as many or few layers as you want. Just rub it on there, and it dries really fast, non-toxic. I have used this from everything from the floors. I've used it on cars before to make the cars look shinier. I've used it on costumes when I wanted pieces of the costume to make shiny. I really, I can't recommend it a lot. So I'm going to put that floor wax on there. That's going to make it look nice and shiny and beautiful. And boy, that looks beautiful, doesn't it? I love that. So yeah, I'm going to get the rest of it installed in here, fix the bedroom up, and hopefully I can get it done before Dizzy gets home. She gets home in about an hour, maybe a half hour. We'll see. So I'll get it all together, and I'll see if I can catch her initial reaction. So I found a doily of Dizzy's. I don't know. She just had it sitting around. I think it might belong to her grandma or something like that. So I decided to put it on there, and it looks wonderful. I think she's going to love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Dizzy just got home. I'm going to show her the bedroom. I'm really excited about this. All right, here we go.
Hi.
Hello. I want you to come see the bedroom.
Oh. You're surprised?
Yes.
What? Oh my God. Why did you do that? What the? Wow. I love it. This is so cool. I can put books in there. This is so nice. Oh, I like it. I have my own
Right.
And then the picture set. Wow. Thank you.
I think I did good, ladies and gentlemen.
I think you did well, yeah. This is so
Even the dogs are excited.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, thanks for watching.